All right, another one of my favorite features of Fern CRM is the pipelines. We use them for so much more than just sales, but we're going to focus on that today. When you're in your dashboard, you can see that we've got here we can toggle between the different pipelines. And all of this is customizable. Like, we're going to build this from scratch during today's video, and you'll see exactly how to create these pipelines. So first we're going to go into opportunities, and here's one that we have already built. These columns can be anything you want. We're going to build one from scratch in just a minute. It's basically a Kanban board. You can drag these. This is a contact. So if we were to click on this, we would see more information about that contact. We can fill this out straight from here. Like, we can change this to lost or won or whatever. We can change the opportunity value. We can actually change which fields show up here as well as which icons show up here. Each of these means something different. So like, we could literally go here and view all the conversations that we've had with this person. If we'd had any. This person, no, we haven't had a conversation with this one. They've just been moving through back and forth through our stages. In addition to manually dragging this from one column to the next, as you can see, we can also move them to lost, won, etc. But we can also automate these movements so that once the application has been approved, the automations move it to meet and greet approved. Once they have booked their call, the automations move them to meet and greet booked, etc. And then, of course, we can assign this to a team member. We can update appointments from here. We can take notes from here. So many awesome things that you can do right here. So this is the pipeline. It says opportunities, but I mean, most people know this as a sales pipeline. And then you can toggle between the different ones here too. So we don't have any leads in this one, but this is just another example of like, if you were a podcaster and you have people going through your podcast funnel, then these are like different stages, but it works the same way. If we pop over here to pipelines, this is where we can build them from scratch, and we can see the ones that we have built before. So for example, just so you know, they're very easy. You can just change the order of things by using the arrows. You can add stages. This decides whether it's visible on the dashboard page. So if you wanted it to only be visible in the funnel chart, we could leave that on and toggle this one off. Or if you felt that this was like more stages than you needed to see at a glance on the dashboard page, you can actually turn off the funnel chart and the pie chart here. So this is reverse. This is the pie chart. This is the funnel chart. So you could modify the stages like that. Change the name, whatever you want to do. So cancel that. Let's create a new one from scratch. Sales journey. And so we might say, contact created. We don't know if they were created by, sending us an email or reaching out on social media or booking a call. They could be coming in from lots of different places. So we want to make sure that every single new contact created shows up in this column. And then the next one might be, let's see here, I guess booked a call maybe. And some might skip over book a call if you just call them directly. So we want to say call completed. So some people may go from, first reaching out to you and then you respond to them. You send them a link to book a call with you. They would move to book a call once they have booked something on your calendar. Other contacts, maybe you skip that part because you can tell from their first communication that they don't need the call booked. You can just call them up on the phone, return their call, whatever. And so maybe that call has already been completed without even going through this stage. Are they a good fit? Or maybe not a good fit. So that's something for you to decide. And so then maybe you want to move them into a follow-up system. Let's see here. We'll say that they're in the follow-up system. And then maybe we could just say abandoned, meaning like they just haven't responded, they've just ghosted you or whatever. And then one last stage, of course, would be sales complete. So this is just very, very basic. Again, these could be any stages you want. We have literally built these before where it's like tree needed and the next stage is tree planted. That was before we had the automations that allowed us to do all of that automated. But there was a time when we had to track it by seeing how many contacts were in the tree needed stage. And then when we were done planting the tree, we would move them to the tree planted stage. It could literally be anything under the sun. It does not have to be a customer journey. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. And now it shows up here. And so when we go over to opportunities, now that's one more that we have to work with. And so now there's no people in this, right? There's no contacts. So we might want to go over and set up an automation real quick. And let's just look at what that would look like. I'm going to just start from scratch because it's faster for me. We're going to say contact created. Ignore this for a minute. So new trigger is anytime a contact is created. Pretty basic. So anytime a contact is created, we want to add them to that pipeline. So we're going to search opportunity, create opportunity, in pipeline, sales journey, pipeline stage, contact created. If you want to customize what name shows up, or if you want to call on your custom values to decide what shows up in the name portion, you can do that here. If you leave it blank, it's just going to show up their name. Opportunity source, same thing. You could use the custom values to go in here and grab the opportunity source. So maybe you want to do, so we went into contact. We're looking at all the different things available for the contact, and one of them is source. So maybe you want to do that. Same thing with lead value. If you want to put in a value there, you can. If you want to choose open, won, lost, or abandoned, you can, but you can leave that blank if when they're just first created. Maybe open is reserved for someone who has made it past some kind of qualifying stage. Do you want to allow opportunities to move to any previous stage in the pipeline? So for example, if they've gotten all the way to call completed, but they need to move back to booked a call, even after the call completed, you then send them the link to book a second call with you, then you're going to want to allow them to move to any previous stage, which means that anytime the contact would normally be created in a previous stage, it's going to grab the existing contact and move their card. If instead you have something where you want each time they perform something that qualifies them to be in this pipeline, you want it to create duplicate opportunities instead, you would choose this. So for our tree planted one, the same contact might do 3 or 4 different things that all qualify for a tree to be planted. So we would want them to show up in the tree planted stage multiple times, meaning we want duplicate opportunities. So that's what that means. That's why you'd want to keep that. We hit publish, we hit save, we're done here. If you wanted, in addition to this, every single time a new contact is created, you want to receive some kind of notification yourself, you're going to choose internal notification. And that's important. You want to make sure this one's going to you, because let me back out of this for a second. If we choose email, if we just scroll down and see send email, this sends an email to the contact, not you. So just be careful of that, because, sometimes the language is very different. So anytime it's an internal, meaning it's sending to you or anyone on your team who has access to your dashboard, internal notification can be an email, which is just what it sounds like. Notification means it's going to show up in your notifications inside Fern CRM. And if you have allowed Fern CRM to give you push notifications, then it'll show up as a little toast window. Those little things that pop up in the corner there that say, hey, Fern CRM is communicating with you. So that's how notification works. Or you could have it send you a text. So in most cases, it'd be email. So let's try that. And so with from name, chances are you want to use one of your custom values from your account info. So let's do email from name. Same thing with from email. Let's go back to our custom values, grab that account info from email address. Did I get that right? Yep, from name, from email, to user type. And so this is where you could have it sent to all users if you want everyone to be notified. The assigned user, and I'll show you what that is in just a minute, a particular user. So in this case, that would be the easiest, have it sent to you. And you can add multiples here. If you had multiple users, you could add more than one here. And then type whatever your subject is, hey, you've got a new contact. Type whatever your message is. Again, we've got custom values, so you could put whatever you want in here. And then for assigned user, what that means is that every time a new contact is created, you're assigning it to a user in your account. So if there is just you, then you would automatically be the assigned user. It is important to use assigned user whenever you're going to be sending emails and things like that. We'll talk about that in another video, but you definitely want to be assigning contacts. So just get in the habit of assigning contacts, even if it's just you. And then you can also do only apply to unassigned contacts. So this helps if you hope to grow a team someday. But even still, get in the habit of using this, because when you assign the user, then if later on in another, let's say like a different workflow, you do decide to email the contact, then you can go in here and grab the assigned user's email signature, and that way the email signature will actually show up. If you use this custom value, but you've never assigned a user to them, then this won't show up. And so sometimes, depending on how your system is set up and depending on which one of our methods you decided to use, sometimes that email signature includes your unsubscribe language, or the language that says like, you know, this message is intended for so-and-so. If that's not you, please disregard or unsubscribe or whatever. So whatever legal language you need in there, you might be using your user signature for that. And that's why it's important to get in the habit of just assigning users. All right, that's it. So let's go back. We don't need to worry about our changes. Go back to opportunities, grab our sales journey. And so now every time a contact is created, they're going to show up in this, or, you know, we're going to see a card. But let's say you could, of course, import. So if you have over here in your contacts, if you have a list of people that you want to import, you can literally import contacts this way. And then they'll be available to pull into your pipeline. If they're already in your account and you just want to add them, then you can go here and grab them. So like, for example, let's put Thea in there, and we're going to give her a status of open. We're going to assign her, and that's probably good. I think that's about all we have for Thea anyway. And then just create. All right, and so now when we close this, she's there. And so now we can move her through the systems or just open this up. And then of course we can always hide empty fields. All right, so that's pipelines. And then with these automations, of course, so let's say, for example, she goes through all these stages and she ends up in your follow-up system. So the follow-up system, once someone's moved to the follow-up system, it could kick off another automation. And so again, back in automations, maybe we create a new workflow, start from scratch. And this is go add to follow-up system. And don't worry, this will eventually go away. It's because it's new. So now the trigger is when that opportunity changes, right? So opportunity, oh, pipeline stage. That's what I was looking for, stage change. So in the pipeline, oh, there we go. In pipeline, sales journey, and pipeline stage has changed to in follow-up system. So now, once someone has been added to the follow-up system column, it will kick off this automation. So let's go ahead and hit save, just so we don't lose our work. And so from this point, it might be, maybe you want to add them to a particular workflow. So if you have a workflow set up that has all of your follow-up automations, maybe it's add to workflow, or maybe it's, you know, maybe you want to just create that workflow here. So maybe the first thing is to, I guess, let's start with wait. Wait, let's say maybe 14 days. So we want to wait 2 weeks, right, before we contact them again. And so I usually say up here, wait 2 weeks and then send them this email. So this is where we would want to do the send email, fill out whatever it is you're going to fill out. So instead of filling out all of this and wasting your time, let's just cancel, but pretend there's an email there, and then maybe you do like another wait and then send them another email and then another wait and then send them an email. Or you could, for example, maybe add them to your manual call list. And I'll talk about that more in another video, but manual call. What this is going to do is it's going to wait 2 weeks, and then it's going to put it on your list to call them back in 2 weeks. And so if we were just to publish this and save it like this, now let's go back and move Thea, and I'll show you where she shows up. We're going to pretend that the call was completed, right? And now we're going to add her to that follow-up system so that it kicks off the automation. Click on her name. So now when we look at the automations, you can see she's in the add to follow-up system automation, which means right now she's being added. And as you can see all the times that we moved her today. So contact created. So created in Stage, contact created, sales journey, right? You can view that opportunity from here, but we were just there. And so now she was moved from Stage, contact created, we could do show more, to follow-up system, right? And then move from Stage, follow-up system to call completed because we wanted to back her out and put her back in. So finally moved into follow-up system, and that's the last place that we have any data for her. But that's pretty much everything to know about pipelines and opportunities, how to use the automations to automate them, how to manually move people through them if you don't want to automate yet, and a great way to just keep track of which contacts are in which stages with you. Thanks so much for watching.